Yo guys, I got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for another hashtag top 10 Thursday, which is late as always, but last Thursday I had a lot on my plate, aka Last of Us Part 2, so I gotta get my priorities straight now, right? Regardless, today we're going to take a game that not many people like, and we're going to discover some positive aspects about it. This is the top 10 most fun things to do in Ring of Heroes. Now, this can be anything that's available in the game, any mechanic for you to take advantage of, just anything that makes the game an absolute blast to play, so to say. And the more original the feature is, or the more convenient it is, the higher it up on the list it's going to get, naturally speaking, since this list is a combination of the convenience of the function, how much fun the function is to perform, how well designed and incorporated into the core gameplay it is. So overall, I cannot wait to get into this list and spread some light on a project, a Skylanders project, which I know a lot of us fans tend to be quite controversial over. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm very much in the middle boat, but I do love celebrating the positive aspects of this game. So without further ado, let's get into it after we've rolled that intro. Chaos's Dungeon. Now what's so interesting about this mode is that you have to unlock it by grinding out adventures or distorted dungeon levels. So the fact you have that need to earn even access to the mode makes it all the more fun and satisfying to perform on. You know that you've gone out of your way and you've earned the right to partake inside of it. What's also awesome is the fact that in this mode we finally get to play against Chaos in a format that isn't tutorial minded, so having that kind of final boss fatality to it makes it really fun, because of course, you know, it's about time we got to fight against Chaos, and the fact that you have this constant evolving stages just like it is in Trap Team adds a lot of intertextuality and makes the boss fight as a whole very clever and awesome way it ties back into the games. Very nostalgic for me in particular, since Trap Team is my favourite game, and of course the Chaos from Trap Team is my favourite boss in the entire series. So seeing that reincarnated by this game's beautiful animation and modelling work is a sight to behold, and makes the mode even more fun to carry out, mind you. And so above all, it's just a combination of all those things that makes this really an absolute blast to play through, and better yet, you know, you earn the right to partake in it, and then once you've done so, you earn even more rewards in the form of cubes that increase your elemental power for adventures and duels alike. So the fact that you get such a useful tool come the end of it just makes the whole ordeal more satisfying and more fun to play through, mind you. There's reason to play through this. There's, you know, incentive to even unlock it in the first place. In fact, we have to go through a great ordeal just to gain access to the mode. It makes it all more satisfying to even access, mind you, knowing that you went out of your way to earn it. Coming in at number 9 has to be decorating your island, because this way, you know, it adds a personal flair to the game, because each island is going to differ from Portal Master to Portal Master, since we're all going to have our own envisionments for what makes a good island, what makes a bad island, what makes a pretty island, what makes an ugly island. So naturally, you know, we're going to decorate the island to our own tastes, and so that distinctive flair between players and that personal feeling to it makes decorating your island really fun to perform, knowing that it's personal to you and that you have further investment in decorating your island, knowing that it's so different to to everyone else's, mind you. That, and also, as you saw from the rewards I just claimed right there, by decorating your island you can earn rewards by doing absolutely nothing, because the rewards generate over time for free anyways, so you can get gold stations. You can upgrade those gold stations if you have enough money, which for the most part I don't, if I even needed upgrades for my gold collectors, which I don't. But again, you know, for magic cauldrons you can also upgrade, which I don't have enough money for still, except that one apparently. Regardless, as I digress, the fact you get rewarded for doing something so subtle and yet it can feel so personal to you and give the game that distinctive flair based on your own personal experiences with it makes decorating your island a small yet nifty and fun touch to the game. Coming in at number 8, we have adventures in general. Now, as you can see, all of these different levels all have their unique aesthetics to them, so the fact that they are so different in design and have that original flair to them makes them just really cool to explore. And adventures aren't only great to explore and progress through, because every single one ends in a boss fight, and once you defeat that boss fight, you of course get to watch and cutscene play out, giving this game a story behind it that's really investing. And then on top of that, you also get a look at the artistic style and flair that this game accomplishes, since the cutscenes are just so art-based and so much fun to watch through, mind you. But of course, you know, progressing through the adventures whilst being fun isn't the only thing to enjoy with the adventures. When you first start off the game, certain levels you find quite difficult, but once you've progressed through the game and have beaten a grand majority of the stages, all of the early ones from the game become so easy to you. It's complete and utter annihilation whenever you go back to reattempt it. So for example, with this level from the Life adventures right here, all of my overpowered Skylanders that used to struggle with these battles are now one-shotting these enemies without a problem whatsoever. So just, there's something really just satisfying about going back to levels you previously found very difficult and it took you forever to freestyle them, and then being able to just one-shot all of the enemies to take your, to exact your revenge upon them. It's just so much fun indeed. So yes, the adventures are fun for multiple reasons, but mostly because they allow you to progress through an investing story and absolutely annihilate enemies that you previously found difficult. Next up on the list, we have completing either quests or missions. As you could see from that brief sneak peek right there, my quests are a little bit too advanced for me to complete at the moment. However, with missions, you have daily missions, you have weekly missions, and then you also have missions for several different objectives such as compilation, power-up, adventures, challenges, duels, and Portal Master. So, what's really cool about these challenges is that they give you, once again, incentive with the amazing rewards that they have to offer. As you can see right here and now, I'm getting gold, energy, wish stones, the whole shebang. So naturally, you know, you get highly rewarded for partaking in these tasks. And these tasks vary, depending on what challenges they actually are. You know, for daily challenges tend to be quite easy because they're made to be quick and brief, which ultimately makes the pacing of the game much better as you seek out these missions, because you can be going for a weekly mission like entering the arena 15 times and in the process complete the daily mission as well, which is just so satisfying to of course get both birds with a single stone, mind you, an expression that's thrown around a lot, but believe me, in this case it's justified. So above all, it's the incentive, the satisfaction of claiming the reward that has been incentivizing you the whole time, and just for variation in challenges that they offer, so that then you always feel like you're earning no matter what you're doing in the game, because of course the variation makes it so that no matter what you're doing, you're likely to earn rewards from the missions or quests alike. Next up, we have the arena battles. Now, what's so great about these is that you first of all get to go up against other people's defense teams. So you're not exactly playing live PvP, but it's definitely a form of PvP all the same, which is going to require, of course, strategy and skill in order to beat the opponent's defensive teams, mind you. And I love the fact that there's there's two different teams you can build. You can build a defensive team and an offensive team. The offensive team focusing on, well, so says the name, offense, in order to defeat the defensive teams, and then your defensive team to make sure that other offensive teams can't beat you. It's a really smart, as I said before, strategic system that's really fun to figure out. and to involve yourself with. And better yet, there is a leaderboard, so you have incentive to go through these matches and win, because you want to ascend the leaderboard and naturally become one of the best players within the game. So that incentive makes it even more fun to play through. So overall, it's a combination of strategy, incentive, and of course the social element of it that makes the arena battle so fun. Because as I said before, you want to fight your way up the leaderboards. There's the social aspect, and the fact that you are playing against real players' own strategy when it comes to the strategy behind their defensive teams, mind you. But most of the time, the arenas are highly unbalanced. As you saw right there, I absolutely swept the floor of that guy. So that's my one and only real gripe with the arenas. It's the unbalance found within it. But apart from that, it's a very fun game mode, to say the least. Another really fun thing to do in Skylanders Run Heroes is something that we haven't seen for a while, and the game has been really lacking without it, so it really does go to show you how much we should have appreciated these things at the time, because it's one of those things to where you don't actually realise how much you appreciate it until it's gone. Regardless, that would be the events. Now, what was so great about the events is that it rewarded you for partaking in tasks that you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to perform during regular gameplay, stuff like Chaos Dungeon and, of course, level grinding and such. So the fact that these events often took full advantage of the game's mechanics and every single function that the game had to offer and every single mode that it possesses, and taking advantage of all of it, just made these events an absolute blast. Not to mention they were very creatively laid out with some very awesome artwork and of course some great Photoshop and editing skills to create for UI for these events. So overall, they were well planned out, took full advantage of everything the game had to offer, and were an absolute blast to perform, since they encouraged you to do things you wouldn't do normally, and so that made you discover more in the game and just made you have an absolute blast whilst performing said discoveries, mind you, which is why events are as high as number 5 on the list. It's just really disappointing that we haven't really seen one in such a long time, mind you. Coming in at number 4 is the Mirage Towers. Now, what I really love about the Mirage Towers is that it's such a basic mode, so it lends itself quite nicely to customised challenges. So as you can tell, there are a lot of floors right here, which can create the very survival and endurance-based activities, such as beating as many floors as you can in a single sitting, or performing it in a lock where you use a random name generator to decide which Skylanders tackle each floor, and of course when they are defeated in battle their classes dead and cannot be used again. That was my personal favourite challenge to tackle the Mirage Locks with, but you can also tackle it with limited Skylanders, so you tackle it with only one team rather than both of them, or you can tackle it using only villain attacks, or there's a different whole range even of different challenges that you can task yourself with, and that is really cool. The fact that the Mirage Towers has its length to it, making it so easily manipulated towards your own challenges, and once again, just like decorating the island, that creates your own personal flair and experiences with the Mirage Towers, so that then your playthrough of them feels distinct to the person next to you, and increases your investment in the challenges even more, because they are so unique to you and your personality, mind you. But yes, as you can tell, with 80 floors to go through, there's quantity as well as quality in terms of the gameplay for the Mirage Towers. That's another reason why creating customized challenges for these towers is so fun. So coming in at number 3, we have large summons. Now the main problems with these is that they are so luck based, because there's only a chance that you get heroic and legendary soul stones, which are ones you really want because you get them so rarely, mind you. But hey, you're getting so many rare and premium stones. It's just cherry on top of the cake, since the developers really didn't need to give you those, and yet they did it anyway, and they gave you use for those soul stones, so they aren't going to waste anymore, unlike they did before for major update that incorporated the alchemy house, mind you. But yeah, large summonings, what's so great about them is the wide array of emotions they can bring out of you. Because they are so luck based, they can cause either utter frustration or complete happiness and joy. So for wide spectrum even of emotions, makes these summonings very, very memorable, and the fact that they reward you for saving up all of your resources so that then you can conduct them one after the other just makes them very satisfying to binge through. And not to mention they are well animated. It's fun to reveal them as they kind of like explode open and everything, and then not to mention getting for lightning and the sound effects and the bonus stones on top of that is also just a very nice satisfying flair added to just creating these summonings and binging through them in large quantities, if you will, and it makes them an absolute blast to conduct, and as I said before, very memorable due to the wide emotion spectrum that they can create. Therefore, that's what makes large summonings so fun in Ring of Heroes, to be saying the least. Next up, we have the Awakening of the Skylander. And what's so great about Awakening Skylanders is that you get a whole new appearance for the character at hand, which all tend to be incredibly well detailed and designed. And the best things about these designs is that they are permanent, so you get a brand new take on the traditional classical Skylander, which was made exclusively for this game. So the amount of creativity that goes into these redesigns and how well they expand upon the original designs of these characters and just how well modelled and animated they are just goes to show how much passion and care the developers put into truly justifying the character's appearance within this game, and of course honouring their Skylanders legacy by creating designs that are still intertextual and remind you of the Skylanders, especially their fully upgraded forms, or in Spyro's case right here is Mega Ram form, but at the same time still having that creativity put into it, just to show that this game wasn't made lazily. And of course, in the process of evolving, well, not evolving your Skylander, that's a literal process you can do as well, but turning your Skylander from one appearance to another, just watching that unfold before you, again, it's very satisfying and very fun to pull off. And the best thing about Awakening Skylanders is that, as you can tell from a character that I haven't awakened yet, like Gear Shift, you need a lot of soul stones, a lot of ore, which requires a lot of grinding even, and patience, and naturally that means that you always feel incredibly rewarded for having earned this evolution of the Skylander at hand. You know, you never feel as though the awakening was easy. The challenge behind it is ultimately what makes it more satisfying to pull off and more rewarding at the same time, adding to just how fun it can be to pull off such an amazing feat, mind you. As you can see, I currently need to have Smash Brothers on pause so that then I can actually play Ring of Heroes. After all, it's a game that needs to be played. Right? Wrong. Because this game has a function where it just plays itself. And what's so fun about this feature is that if you don't like Ring of Heroes, if you're getting a little bit bored of it, and you don't want to play it anymore, but you still want to reap the rewards and grind it out, you can simply just flick on the auto feature, and whilst the game is playing itself and you're reaping the rewards from it doing so, you're conducting a far more maybe crucial or more fun task, such as, you know, doing homework maybe, or, in my case, playing Super Smash Bros. So the fact that you can easily have the game running itself whilst you do something better truly makes this game so much fun. It's so much fun in this game to do absolutely nothing. Now, my friends, is why it comes in at number 1. It's just so convenient.
Ease. People will trade quality for ease every time. It may be crap, but hey, it's convenient.
As, of course, the villain of The Incredibles 2, which I've not spoiled anything by the way, because her name is Evelyn Dever. It's so simple. It was so obvious that she was the villain from the get-go, considering that, you know, you rephrase her name into Evelyn Dever. Regardless, I'm going to get back to playing Super Smash Bros. Right now, whilst my game continues to grind itself out, because the best thing, the most fun thing to do in this game even, is absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's basically going to do it. That final choice right there was a wise one on my behalf, because it's basically to put at ease for people who don't like this game, because no matter how much you don't like this game, you cannot moan about the fact that you can do nothing and still get rewarded. Because who can moan about doing absolutely nothing and still winning for it, right? I know Luigi doesn't, for that much. Regardless, with this video coming to an end, I will hopefully see you next Top 10 Thursday for a double upload. But until it memorizes, peace! And thank you so much as always for watching.